What up and welcome to Rama Screen YouTube channel, and here's my review of Netflix new limited series, Too Much. Let's rock this. So this new show is created by the same Lena Dunham who gave us that old, hugely popular HBO series Girls, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I was never a fan of that show. I did try watching a few episodes here and there, but couldn't get into it. To this day, I still don't understand the rave about it, but thanks to Netflix, I've already watched the entire 10 episodes of Lena's new show, Too Much, and maybe you'll disagree with me on this, and that's fine. But this show feels like a spiritual sequel to Girls. Whether or not that means good is arguable. It's as if Megan's character is an extension of Lena's previous character, Hannah, even though Lena herself makes an appearance in this one. What I'm getting at is, just like Girls, I also find Too Much to be just a one big giant meh. Watching these characters interact with one another is like watching a collection of conversations that I could not wait to fly out of the room from. They are just so tedious, and they are a bunch of topics that I could not care less about. I was like, why am I listening to this endless drivel? I was waiting and waiting and waiting for whatever it is that they talk about to get interesting, but that moment never came. Not to mention, it's also a character's journey of her unhealthy relationship that I'm not sure anybody should take lessons from. Lena basically took everything that's dreadful about Girls and transported them to a new setting, London. That's all this is. That's all that Too Much is. Created by Lena Dunham and Louis Felber and written and directed by Lena Dunham. In Too Much, Jessica is a New York workaholic in her mid-30s, reeling from a broken relationship that she thought would last forever and slowly isolating everyone she knows. When every block in New York tells a story of her own bad behavior, the only solution is to take a job in London where she plans to live a life of solitude like a Bronte sister. But when she meets Felix, a walking series of red flags, she finds that their unusual connection is impossible to ignore, even as it creates more problems than it solves. Now they have to ask themselves, do Americans and Brits actually speak the same language? From the creator of Girls and the producers of Love Actually. Starring Megan Stalter, Will Sharp, Richard E. Grant, Dean Charles Chapman, Rita Wilson, and Naomi Watts. The show does have a few upsides though. I really do enjoy the way it captures London scenery and London culture. Yeah, sometimes the fish out of water jokes can be a bit overdone and repetitive, but in the context of Jessica and Felix's relationship, the humor does have its silly, chuckle-worthy moments. I also respect the show's depiction of body positivity sex scenes. I think that's the politically correct way of describing it without calling it big or fat. Anyway, when Hollywood has been flooding us over the years with on-screen sex scenes between two hot people, it's kind of refreshing seeing it done here by regular size or plus size folks whose physical appearances are more relatable to us. Now, okay, I get it. The whole spitting in the mouth thing is a disgusting kink that some people like to do, but it's not for me and my wife. But if you're gonna criticize this about that, but you don't criticize the same about when Haley Steinfeld spat in Michael B. Jordan's mouth in the movie Sinners, just because Haley is considered sexy by the world's standards, then your hypocritical ass might have a double standard problem. Okay, other than those few bullet points, my opinion still stands in that this show does almost nothing for me. I mean, the casts are more diverse this time around, so I guess Lena chose not to make the same mistake that she did with Girls on that aspect, so that's good. But again, their dialogues feel the same, constantly whiny and petulant, like nails on a chalkboard. The characters, including the leads, Jessica and Felix, are irritating and unlikable. I guess you can argue that their flaws make them somewhat realistic, but their narcissistic egos are unbearable. I can understand trying to figure out yourself, trying to find yourself, yada yada yada, but making everything be about you, which is what Jessica often does, is an absolute turn-off. Yes, you can boil this down to a bunch of privileged people complaining all the time, and that makes them difficult to root for. And even worse, they ruin the overall enjoyment of this show. And it all comes down to the way that these characters are written and the way that they are performed, which are not bragging points at all. And the celebrity cameos did not add anything meaningful either. And because of those shortcomings, this show's obvious attempts to potentially spark conversations about identity and empowerment kind of fall by the wayside, because they make it so hard for us to follow these unpleasant characters. Just like I said earlier, the interesting parts never came because the annoying parts are just so overwhelming. So yeah, overall I give Too Much the rating of 2 out of 5. Maybe some audiences would find this show to be an honest exploration of relationship and sexuality that can resonate with them, and that's fine. But to me, Too Much lives up to its title. The whole thing is just exhausting.